Lewison.
Cam McLellan.
Last video, guys, we talked about land depreciates, houses depreciate, and the importance of the house on the land and its real purpose, which is lay-buying your land, bringing rent in to cover the cost of holding your land.
Just to make sure that you understand my drawings, that's the land, that's the house. I don't want to go mucked up there, but you get the point. All right, so we talked about
Couldn't see it.
talked about why that was really easy 20 years ago when we started investing. You buy a block of land and you smack a house on it. The impounder is important to the house, as also, but how our cities are evolving have changed the way we need to invest and changed the amount of understanding of a local area and the way growth corridors are changing.
I'll say the buzzwords: activity centre, infill, density. All these things are buzzwords out there that are really important to understand and not make mistakes by getting them wrong.
Right, so this pretty picture here is not a tooth. This is Melbourne. We'll call it Melbourne.
Cam's tooth of Melbourne.
Here's the CBD. So most people, when Melbourne came about, you have a CBD, and basically you'd be trying to find, and when we started investing, we just draw a line from the area we were looking at, wherever it was, to the CBD, and we're looking for large pockets of land that could potentially douse the growth from the area that we're looking at, wherever that may be, and obviously missing water. Now, the way things have changed recently is in Melbourne and all the other capital cities, the government, based on the baby boomers exiting and the reduction of tax, the government can't afford to keep pushing our cities out. So they've put the urban growth boundary on our cities. The urban growth boundary means low density to high density within infill areas and regional to metro on the outskirts. Now, this has changed. So we evolved differently than we did overseas. If we look at, take one of the European cities, the way they evolved, wherever the big city was, however far you could travel with horse and cart, another little village would turn up. So there's all these little villages that turn up all over the place. And then they become little self-sufficient business or cities in themselves, and then all housing came in between. So no one really travels too much in European cities, as opposed to us. When we got to Australia, we had the motor car. So we go from the city and just rip to the outer suburbs. We didn't need these little business hubs, I suppose, is the best way to do it.
If anyone's travelled, though, say Melbourne to Queensland in the car or something like that, you'll notice the major cities, the Dubbos, the Woggers, all that, there's about 100 kilometres consistently between all of those semi-sized towns. That's good around what Cam's saying. The distance you could get to in a day in the old days.
Yeah, there you go. So why this is really relevant when it comes to understanding the right piece of dirt to buy, so there's obviously value in land, is that what we're now trying to recreate, what's happened naturally overseas, we're recreating in Australia, is in Melbourne they call activity centres, different capital cities are calling them differently, but we're creating business hubs all around our cities to try and reduce the travel, to reduce the amount of infrastructure spend the government needs to have on roads and rail. So City of Casey, for example, they're hoping to have something like 50%, maybe 60% of the population working within that area and not travelling to the CBD or other areas. They're trying to create enough jobs, so the government's moving all the businesses out to those outer suburbs. They're also, this was where the importance comes in of understanding how to research an area. They're also making the density higher around those activity centres. So the land size is getting small, but if you're buying in the right area, that you can really get some good value there, because once it peaks out, once you get out of the high-rise zone, once it peaks out, then you can get some really good uplift. And even in some medium density stuff, you can start to get some good uplift in growth.
You need to be very careful that they have the infrastructure surrounding it, supporting it, that's going to allow that growth. Now, if I can just touch on here again, Cam's pointed out satellite cities. Let's call these the key ones around Melbourne. And you can start to draw your diagrams again. Up your pen. You've got a satellite city here. Let's call it Epping. All of a sudden, you can start to do the same. You can start to do your dotted line. Epping up here. Epping's over there, but let's pretend it's here for now. This is somewhere else then. Start to do your dotted line and start to look for the same thing. Look for infill pockets. Are they going to impact your growth? Because you're trying to leverage off what's happening in that satellite area there.
Hopefully that makes sense.